I guess we're recording. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. Welcome back to We're Doing Fine with Connor James. All right, guys, it's a brand new year, 2026. And you know what that means. We got resolutions coming up. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about resolutions and what do we expect out of one another, you know? What do you expect out of yourself this year? It's been a while since I've been on here, probably about 3 or 4 weeks, but it's been, Christmas time. Everything gets hectic, and it's just kind of like vacation, a little bit. So I haven't had time to sit down and do one of these actually, between all the get togethers and end of the year work stuff and things like that. But we're back, and I was working on getting a couple of guests before the year ended last year, and it didn't work out. But I have a couple of people that I think I'm lined up with to come back on the show. My favorite time of the year is coming up: baseball season, crawfish season, Mardi Gras, and it's going to be a good one. So just to recap, I guess, let's see. About 2 weeks ago, it was Christmas time. Did some good stuff. Santa came, you know. Excuse me. Santa came. Uh, we had I got me a turtle box for Christmas, and I've never had a turtle box. I love that thing. It's so loud. It's perfect, and I'm a music guy, so having a turtle box, and I never had one, or even like a decent speaker to say the less. I have some good music gear, but nothing to just sit around the house and have a speaker with. And the turtle box is by far best speaker I've ever had. So I got one of those, and some cool clothes and things like that. We went out to eat, and I hate to bash a place, but we went out to a place in Baton Rouge that I've been to before, and it was good. And it was called the Little Village. I'm sure you've heard of it if you've been to Baton Rouge. It's a little Italian place. And man, that's Dice growling. What's he after? And it just was not like it used to be. I think they cut their portions, literally in half. I get a veal parmesan when I go eat Italian. I love a veal parmesan, my favorite dish, smothered in cheese, and mozzarella. And it's just tender, and it's very good. And that's what I got. It was just disappointing. It was like old. One of our waiters that we had, we were all sitting. We were in like the bar area. He had 3 tables to tend to, us, another table, and another table, and just us three was making him overwhelmed. And I get it. I've done the service thing. I've done it before. 3 tables shouldn't have you sweating and not being able to at least get water refills, and it shouldn't take 15 minutes before you come check on us every. We were in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and like I said, the whole time it was just us 3 tables that we were being taken care of. And like one of the times, man, like we had ran out of water or something, and I wasn't drinking water. I was having like a old fashioned, and my brother was drinking water, and the guy's like, "Hey, can I get y'all anything? Y'all need anything?" And the brother's like, "Yeah, you can just bring a couple waters for the table, And he's like, "Well, there's a water right there." And I was like, and there was, it was sitting there for a long time. It was my dad's water that my dad gave him because he ran out, and there was no ice in it. And my brother was like, "Yeah, it's not mine though, but yeah, sure, I'll just drink this, whatever." He's like, "Well, I'll go get y'all some waters." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, yeah, that'd be great." But it was kind of like that the whole time. Um, it was an experience, but disappointed in the little village. Not gonna lie, but besides that, went to church, had a good service for Christmas. That's what it's all about, and had a good, good to see family and that kind of thing. And then, Christmas parties. And then the new year came. We're into a new year. I had a little get together at my house, a couple people over, had, you know, um, the football games on. And I just can't believe Alabama got just drum rolled by Indiana. That was something. Yeah, and LSU, they just look sad. I'm so glad this year's over with. I'm ready to see Lane Kiffin. I'm ready to put that just terrible. That was a historically terrible season, and we did. I think we went 7-6 or something to end the year. But it's like, oh my gosh, every game was hard to watch. Every single game, every play, it was just, it was sad, man. So I don't know who's gonna win now. Uh, Ole Miss is up there in the semifinals. Indiana, Miami. I think it's gonna be. I don't know. There's a lot of hype behind Lane Kiffin's team, so Ole Miss might make it too. But Miami's a real deal, and so is Indiana. So I don't really know. I don't really know. We're gonna see though. Um, anyways, like I said, it's the new year. Everybody hopefully has some resolutions that they want to plan to stick to. I honestly am not a huge fan of resolutions. I think it's great for you to have a goal, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of people pick the same generic. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna lose weight this year. I'm gonna stop smoking this year. I'm gonna eat healthier, and generic stuff that doesn't really have. Smoking's a good goal, but when you say I want to lose weight or I want to eat healthier, like those aren't really goals. Have a weight you want to lose, and have something. Have a more precise goal. Whenever you go into anything, and you have just a broad goal, it's very hard to reach a goal that you don't have exactly numbered out. Exactly what goal. What do you want in anything that you do, really? Last year, uh, I had a goal. I wrote down some goals, and I wish I could find it. I don't know where that notebook went, but one of my goals was to be healthier. And man, last year, January 5th, it fell on a Monday. So I didn't do that New Year's Day thing. I waited until Monday rolled around, like everybody usually does. Only makes sense. It's a clean, fresh slate. You don't have to worry about the weekend and New Year's Eve and that kind of stuff. But I was like, man, this is it. This is the year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in shape, fit in shape. And what is fit in shape? I weighed in on the 5th. I was 248, and I'm about 6 foot, 6 foot one, 6 foot. And I have a pretty good, decent size of muscle on me. So I was 248, and I said, man, I want to get to, I want to get to 220. I think 220 would be a good goal for me. So the easiest way to do stuff like that when you're losing weight is like to have other people doing it with you. So me and a couple of my buddies, I talked them into it, and I said, "Hey guys, let's." We had a trip coming up in the end of February, so that would have given us two pretty full months to get down to a goal. And I said, "Let's see who can lose the most weight by our trip." That was at the end of February. It was like February 28th, and I wanted to get to 220. So we started it, and I was like, "All right." I planned this whole thing out. I wrote down my calories, and man, the first couple of weeks, I was finding myself. I was always weigh in. Like Mondays didn't really count because I would diet Monday to Friday, and then Friday evening, Saturday, and kind of Sunday, I would just kind of go and do whatever, enjoy my weekend. But I would never, for like 2 or 3 weeks, I was just still the same. I might have lost maybe 2 or 3 pounds or something, maybe. But it was basically just, I was still just rebounding. So I was like, okay, well, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not, I'm not eating as the least amount of calories as I should be. So I mapped out, what can I do? What can I start doing? So I said, oh, well, I used to fast a lot, and a fast always gets me back on track. So I would fast. I started fasting. I use this app called Zero, the Zero Fasting app, and I usually do intermittent fasting, which is for me, I do 18 hours of fasting, and then you get to eat in a 6 hour window, and that's your intermittent fasting. You don't get to eat again for another 18 hours. So I said, okay, well, let me try to this fasting thing, and I wrote out my week. What do I need if I ate every single day 1,500 calories? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was at somewhere around 13,500 calories in a week. And I said, okay, well, I don't want to eat 1,500 calories every single day because that's just, I'm not going to follow that. I'm going to break that, you know. So I wanted to do something to where I could give myself a little more leeway on the weekends because that's usually where I like to hang out with people and, you know, act like a normal person. So I said, I'm going to fast Sunday evening, you know, have your dinner and that's it. 5, 6 o'clock, 7 max. That's it. Last meal. I don't eat all day Monday. Nothing Monday. Then you go to sleep and then you wait to eat lunch. And so I would eat my first meal of the week, usually on Tuesday around 10 o'clock, 10 or 11. If I could make it to 11, I would. But usually it would be till about 10 o'clock. It's about 40 hours is what I would do. So, and I stopped I did the carnivore diet. So I was just doing meat, cheese, protein, eggs, stuff like that. Nothing with carbs in it. And I did that for a week. So I would do the fasting from Sunday night to Tuesday. So Tuesday I would start eating again. So I ate at 11. I'd have something like I don't know, ground hamburger patties with a slice of cheese, 2 slices of cheese, two patties, maybe 3 patties, and then it just basically would be meat or like a steak or eggs and bacon, something like that. And it would be I would track everything. I would weigh it, I would track it, I would try to stay at 1,500 calories or less, and I did that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. And I said if I did all of that, and then I gave myself 3,000 calories on Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, then I was eating the same calories as I would be if I was doing 1,500 every single day. It was pretty close on the math, and so I started doing that, and I started seeing some results, and then I decided to. I said, okay, well, I can make it Monday to Friday. And here's the thing where I would start to, you drink on the weekends. I would drink and I would. And that's just kind of where things can go bad because if you drink 1,000 calories, then you can only eat, 1,500 or 2,000 calories. And whenever you get drunk or whatever, you want to eat a lot more than that. And you just go off the rails. So what I would do is I would make it a point to do Monday to Friday. That would be 1,500 calories. And then you seriously got to watch yourself on the weekends. You can drink, but you got to watch yourself. Make sure you're not going over at least 3,000 calories. At the most, 3,000 calories on the weekend, even on your cheat. So you'd either have to take one or the other, drinking, eating, or you could do both, but you really have to be disciplined. And after about a month in January, the end of January, I got down to about from 248, I got down to about 232, something around there. And I was like, okay, well, we're making some progress. It's like a lot of it's water weight, but because, I hadn't been dieting and everything. And I think I weighed myself at my heaviest. And then it was February. And I was losing about 2 pounds a week, 3 pounds a week. And whenever you see that every single week, it's like, all right, all right. And my goal was 220. So we got down to, my buddies gave up They didn't stay disciplined, but I was determined. So they gave up about a month in, 3 or 4 weeks in. But I started seeing results. You know, you lose 10 pounds, you're like, oh, well, I could lose 10 more. I could lose 10 more. And that's what I was doing. So they gave up, and I said, no, I had some momentum. So I wanted to keep on going. And I got to, by the end of February, I got to 225. My goal was 220. And then by the day we left for our trip, I was 225. And I was like, you know what? That's a good. I haven't been 225 since probably high school or before that. And granted, I had a lot of muscle on me, but not in high school. I didn't. And I was happy with that. So I had enjoyed my trip, and I said, right back on it Monday. Whenever we get back from the trip, right back on it. And it was, yeah, I had it locked in. I was doing everything correctly. And the hard thing is you cannot cheat during the week. You know, whenever somebody asks you if you want to you want to go out to eat, and you want to go out to eat. It's somebody's birthday. It's this. Hey, we're gonna have dinner. Hey, we're gonna, you know, you got your parents and your friends, and they're cooking at their house, and you just got to say no. No, you have what you cooked. You have what you made. You know what you have to eat. You cannot cheat, and I didn't. I did not cheat for months. You know, doing that. So probably around um, April. My birthday is in April, and I just moved into this house, and I was having a pool party, and I think I was about two. I was probably at 217 or so, 215, 217. So I reached my goal, 220, but I was still not happy with how I looked. So I was like, no, maybe I need to go to 210. So another month goes by. I get to 210 in probably May. And then I was like, no, not 210. Like I wanted to be able to see, you know, abs and stuff. So I lost some more weight, and I got to about 205. And I think in June, I got to about 200 pounds. And I mean, I was like, I haven't been 200 pounds. I mean, I swear it was probably seventh or eighth grade. It was probably sixth or seventh grade the last time I was 200 pounds. And you could just imagine a butterball I was. And I got down to 200 pounds, and I was like extremely happy with what I saw. And I just kind of said, well, you know what? It's still working, so I'm just going to continue to do whatever I'm doing. I could hover around, but then I'd be able to cheat more and stuff like that. You know, you can cheat now, like, and I'd weigh myself again, and I'd be like, oh, well, I'm 201, stay around 200, 198. I got down to 196 in the summer, and that was the lightest I ever was, and that was the only time I ever saw that number was that one day I weighed myself, and I was like, man, and I was just like eating right, and I changed my relationship with how you eat food. You know, you could just have to change your relationship with how you do those things. And that was the biggest goal for me. Well, I could not believe I got to 200 pounds, and I was feeling great. I looked great, and for some reason, I hold on my weight in my midsection, like my arms and my legs. Like I'm pretty vascular, but my midsection is where all the weight's at. So I reached my goal. I did what I said I was gonna do, and I was as happy as I could be. But you know, I still continued. I don't really fast on Mondays anymore. I kind of eat whatever I want, being a little mindful, make sure not too much, not too little. But I tried to change my goals into the weight room because I'd lost a lot of strength from that. I was benching like 315 for 6 reps, 7 reps in January, and after you lose, you know, 40 pounds, you just can't do that anymore. I'm surprised I could maybe do 315 once now, but that's okay. I'm not in it for the strength. I don't care about that. I'm strong enough. So I was completely happy with it. And so it is January 2026 now. So it's been a full year. And I'm probably about 203 right now, 204. And I'm going to take it up another notch, knowing that I could do it now. You know, the 203, 204, I'm not exactly I would like to be extremely fit. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be shredded walking around. I know it's hard to sustain throughout a year. So I'm gonna try and weight's not really what I want to be focused on, but I do know it has a bit to do with it. I changed my workout program about a month ago, and it's a push pull, and that really messed with my weight because it was a lot more stressful workouts. So my body was holding on to a lot more water, and I also wasn't being. Whenever you work your muscles out that hard and that intense, your body's like in shock, so it tries to hold everything inside its muscles, so you don't lose it. So it took my body about a couple of weeks to get used to that, but now it's back to normal with the water retention. So, but my diet has not been in check because I've been, when it's the holiday season, man, you just eat whatever. People are having fun. You don't really care. You're like, I'll get to it in January. So, like I said, I will weigh myself in the morning on Tuesday, see where I'm at. I was fasting all day today just to kind of reset everything. So I imagine when I wake up in the morning, I'll be like 203, and we're going to work from there. So I think I would like to sit around 190. That's where I think I'd really like to be. I could be like something dangerous at 190, just joking. But that's going to be one of my goals. I want to be like walking around, take your shirt off, whatever. I feel good. I look good, all that stuff. But other goals besides that, I think one of the goals I had was to release an album last year for my music. But man, an album it's so hard to. Uh, that's a hard thing to do. Maybe not an album or an EP, but a couple of songs. It's a lot of money that goes involved with it. And I wasn't planning on buying a house last year, but I did. So that took a lot of money. Plus, I'm still trying to sell the other house that I have because the housing market's been terrible. But so that's kind of on the back burner right now. But I do want to release some songs this year. I think at least one or two, at least one. I would like to release at least one, and I just want to do it my way. Another like other things that I was happy that I did last year was like step out of my comfort zone a little bit. I started, things like this podcast, and on my TikToks, I was always worried about your brand or how you want to look. Everybody wants to get famous, Everybody wants to, be successful, be famous, really. So on my TikTok, I had to go a different direct. How am I going to gain followers? I wasn't gaining any followers from the kind of music videos that I was doing on my TikToks, and I pushed it really hard last year. And it was like, man, this just isn't working. So I see guys like, for an example, Bryce Harper on TikTok. What does he do on TikTok? He doesn't go hit baseballs. He doesn't. He goes and bakes bread, and he makes like coffee blueberry smoothies, and people love that stuff. They're like, I didn't. People love that stuff. It's like, oh, it's a guy that like we knew what he did, and he's not doing that, and it was cool. But another thing I do for work is travel. So I think out of the ordinary, I don't even remember how I did it, but out of the ordinary, I went and I tried some boudin at a place in Eunice. And I was like, let me just make a little boudin review video. Because I kind of always wanted to do that, man. I love food. I love cooking. I love Louisiana. And I was like, let me do a little boudin review. And I made one in my truck. It got like, it blew up. It got like 100,000 views or something. And I was like, oh, well, here, we got something here. Look at him looking out my window. So I was like, well, we might have something here. And so I started doing that. I'd get people telling me to go to these places and these places, and I would go and try as many as I could. It's hard to go make a special trip out 2 hours away. But I would start going, and these videos were kind of popping off, and I'd get like, I think I had like 2,000 followers last year early. And I started doing cooking videos and just food related things. And then other places where I'd go travel for work, I started filming those places and talking about those places. And hey, if you got any recommendations where I need to go, and considering it would be like while I was on the road for work, I would go film me just BSing around at these restaurants or whatever. I went to Omaha. That one popped off pretty good. I love that. My biggest things in life is like working out, baseball, um, food, and music. And I just love those things. So I like to showcase everything that I love. And went to Omaha, Nebraska to watch LSU play in the World Series. And I was like, man, I bet you a video at Rocco's would pop off. So I posted my video and I was like, all right, guys, well, we're going in and let's go see what the hype is all about at Rocco's. So I had like a little 3-day baseball excursion in Omaha, and I was getting, like followers, like 1,000 followers, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000. And I was like, oh, well, this is fun and this is working. And it's not like dumb, boring. I thought I just had to pump out boring, you know, music, playing my guitar on my couch or outside or something like that. And some guys, look, do a great job with that. I don't know what it is. I don't have it because I don't know what the algorithm is. I just don't have it. And it's not that I'm the worst singer ever, because sometimes I see these guys that are just not very good at all, and their videos pop off because they're not very good. But there's these guys that are sick and they're good. I just don't have I don't have it for that, for the music, trying to record myself sitting down. Just never worked out. And anyways, that's what I'm doing now. So I started doing things like this podcast and having guys come on. That's how this thing with Coach Doug popped off. People saw my video from Louisiana. And what I really like about Louisiana people is you can make a video and talk about Louisiana. And Louisiana people love Louisiana. And like, you're never going to, they just back you 100%. That's what I'm trying to say. They back you. So they back a Louisiana person. And I love that about Louisiana. So most of my videos are Louisiana based. And people love it. They spread it. Oh, you got to go try this. Got to go try this. Oh, that's my grandma's place. And so you start talking, like Coach Doug came on the podcast and he started telling all these stories. And it's like, man, it's like lights up a thing. And when he was telling these bar stories about these old bars that used to be open, and these people are commenting, they're like, I haven't seen this guy in 20, 30 years. And oh my gosh, I can't believe what's he doing now. And talking about the bars. And they're like, man, I went to that bar when I was 16. Oh, that was so fun. And it's just fun, cool stuff like that. And I love that. So another thing I'd like to do this year is kind of get into a real podcast studio. I mean, I don't mind doing this like at the table. I want to make it. I'm just terrible with the phone and the media and this kind of stuff. So I would like to go, like I did a podcast with Chris Reed from LSU. Man, me and him sat here and we talked baseball for 2 hours. And it was awesome. I was like, let's stop here because I got so much stuff I want to ask you about. And like, it was going great. And lo and behold, I didn't set something up right. I lost. The camera was recording from the microphone inside the camera or the laptop, and it just sounded, you couldn't use it. And then the camera wasn't even working on him, so he didn't even have a camera pointed at him. I had one camera pointed at me, and it sounded like, Charlie Brown. And I was like, oh, I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't believe I lost that whole thing. And I asked him to come back on, and he's like, what do you mean, man? We already did it. And I was like, I'm not a tech guy. I lost the whole thing, dude. So anyways, a couple of my other friends that I know in that world are going to come, and we ought to have some cool stuff coming up. So we got LSU baseball coming up too. I'm going to the trip in Jacksonville, Florida. And my buddy that we do the trip with every year, he can't come this year. So I'll have some other friends that are over there. They're going to meet me, but that's going to be an awesome trip. I'm ready to go do that. And that is going to be sick. If you're going to be out at the LSU Jacksonville tournament, let me know. Let's go. Let's go make some videos. Let's go make some content. Where the tailgate's going to be. So that's going to be fun. And so, anyways, yeah, that's 2026. Man, this is going to be an awesome year. So, anyways, I got to about, I'm like 8,500 followers on TikTok right now, which I'm proud of because that's all genuine followers. And once I get to 10,000, you can start making money, that kind of way. And hopefully it snowballs. And I would love to be going around I would love to go around the country doing videos from just like funded by this TikTok thing. Go and see baseball parks, going to see these great restaurants, going to see how these people in, I don't know, maybe like the Amish in Pennsylvania, how they do stuff, or go to California. One of my one of my I would love to do this. If there's anybody out there listening in California and you just got a lot of money, you know, or someone that's got a lot of money, look, hire me or just ask me to come fly out to California to your mansion. Let me come cook for you. I'll do it for free. I will do it for free. But that would make a sick video. We can cook gumbo. We can cook jambalaya, crawfish. We could cook whatever. I'll cook whatever. I mean, I'm not asking for any money. So if you're out there and you got a big old Malibu mansion, let me know. That would be sick. But if that happens, guys, that'd be sick. No whiskey tonight. Like I said, it's been a while since I did a podcast. So I was debating on doing one tonight or waiting till tomorrow. And I was like, you know what, Connor? You want to change things? You got to do it now. Do it now. So no whiskey tonight because it's Monday night and back on the diet, back on the health kick, baby. But I know I have a scheduled. I don't know how I want to do my podcasts. If I want to schedule it for once a week, or if somebody comes and I just release them. I think that will probably be what I do is just release them as they come. But a couple of my music guys want to come on here. I'm gonna get my manager to come over here. He's a very interesting guy. I'd love to get my old baseball coaches out here and do some content, man. But it's 2026. It's I heard on another podcast. It's the year of the. Is it the lion or the horse? Let's see. What year is 2026 in the Chinese zodiac? The fire horse. Fortune, wealth, and love. Baby, if I could find fortune, wealth, and love this year, we're all winning. You understand? That's what I'm talking about. The fire horse. 2026. What does it say about that? Months to be born in. January, March, July, and August. I really don't. I'm in April, so darn it. Children born during this time often display optimistic and upright characteristics. Whatever. Lucky numbers 6, 8, 9. The goose drank wine. Lucky colors white, yellow, and dark blue. Personality traits. Well, we're not going to get into that. I don't get into those gym people. One time I was talking to this girl and she was what do you call those? She asked me, "Do you know when you were born?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, she's like, "Do you know the exact time?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Text your mom, ask her what time you were born." I was like, "No, please, no." She's like, "Yes, do it." And then I did. She's like, "Oh, that is so you. You were so eclipsing moon. That's so you. Yes, I agree." I was like, "No." And then one time she was like, "Oh, you got to touch these rocks. Touch these rocks." She's like, these rocks are good healing rocks, and I was like, no, 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 no. Well, this won't last long. But I don't know the deal with that, um, the rock thing. But I still don't even know what like. Oh, you were a lunar march or that stuff. I don't even know what that means. So, anyways, 2026, it's going to be a special year. I mean, as long as you make it a special year. Like, what do you want to do this year? Man, some things that I would like to actually do this year. I would love to go back to Omaha, Nebraska. I would love to do like man, I want to go to some festivals. I live in Louisiana and I've been in here for 28 years and I never go to a festival. I want to start going to these festivals and seeing about these festivals like the Boudin Festival, the Rice Festival. I want to go do all that. And I'd like to, what else would I like to do? I want to sell my house, the one that I'm trying to sell. I'd love to do that. Um, let's see. I mean, I'm going to the Bahamas this year, so that'll be cool. I've never been in the Bahamas. If you've been in the Bahamas, where's some places I got to go in the Bahamas? I've always heard that. Well, my parents went last year, and they said everything's about triple the price because they have to fly everything into the Bahamas. There's nothing that's like made there except I don't know. They probably do beer or coffee or something. But like the restaurants aren't that good, and you might as well like they bring their own food. They brought their own food, so that'll be cool to go to the Bahamas. I'd like to go play like golf in Scottsdale. Um, I'd like to do some golf videos, things like that. But as far along as goals, I haven't really sat down and thought about it yet. I would love to settle down this year, maybe. That'd be a good goal. I'd like to be out of complete, besides my house, I'd like to be out of debt this year. Not like no car note. I'd like to do that. I'd like to win the Powerball this year. I would like to, become an influencer this year. Isn't that the sickest word? I hate that word, influencer. But what if I had like 100,000 followers or 1 million followers, and then I could just do this full time? I could just hop on a plane and go to freaking Michelin star in New York and go eat at Peter Luger's steakhouse. I do want to go to New York. That'd be awesome. I want to try all their pizza. But I don't know. Maybe I still have to discover Louisiana. There's still a lot to discover in Louisiana. I've seen quite a bunch of it, and I love Louisiana, but I haven't seen it all. Um, but as far as that, I've reached my health goals. It's time to set new health goals. It's time to get on there and let's do it right. Let's get this summer bod and let's grind. Let's put some work to it. How are we going to do that? More cardio, less eating, less drinking this year. Just be more disciplined. Maybe start another business this year. I do have an exciting business venture that's coming up this year. I'm going to be partnering with one of my friends in the golf world, and that's going to be exciting. So look for spring 2026. We got some golf stuff. I don't know how much I can really say, but it's a golf brand, and it's going to be a cool golf stuff. I'm gonna, as soon as I get the green light to start promoting it, I'm gonna start promoting it, and it's Louisiana based. It's going to be awesome. So a new business coming around for the Louisiana folks, especially in 2026. I can't wait to show you guys this stuff that's coming out. And hopefully, y'all come buy some stuff from me. And It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So it's going to be a short one today. That's what I'm going to call it at 40 minutes. And guys, look, it's a brand new year. If you're the one that's been struggling to do something because you just haven't sat down and done it, or haven't had the discipline to do it, or you just think you can't do it, you can do it and you will do it. That's what you got to say. You know, whether that's praying every day that you can do it, for the strength to do it, you just plain and simple, you just have to do it. You know what you have to do. If you got to write it down and say it out loud 10 times every single day, then do it. But if you think twice about it, you're not going to do it. You just need to grind those teeth and do it. Get it done. This is the year to get it done, man. No better year than now. You're not getting any younger. Start that business. Lose that weight. Go ask that girl out on a date. It's going to be a great year. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to do. Just do it. You never know. You never know what can happen. And I think some of the best things that happen are the things you never knew could happen. So that's my words of wisdom for you guys today. I will see y'all next week. We're doing fine with Connor James. See y'all later.